What's up,
All
men
right.
and few ladies that watch this channel? This is Siebel Studios.
You know, that that's probably true.
Yes.
That might be one of the most true things I've heard you say. Men and maybe a few women, if we're lucky, right? If we're, if you want to say it that way.
Huh. Well, I'm going to be working on that, I guess.
Yeah,
Anyway, welcome to Siebel Studios, where we talk about anything that interests us and anything that could, uh, that you guys want us to discuss.
anything.
Anything at all. Just leave a comment and, uh, we'll give you our opinions on it.
Absolutely. So, what are we talking about today, Siebel? Tell everybody what we're talking about.
We are talking about tips and tricks to improve your building skills.
Yes, so if you're sitting here right now in that chair and you're saying, you know what? What these dudes have to say about building chips and tricks, then we are in on it today. That's what we're going to be doing. We're glad that you guys joined us today. Justin, why don't you start us off? Sorry, Siebel, why don't you start us off with your best advice? I got to go let my dog out while you do that.
All right. Well, there is a few tricks that I had to learn the hard way. Uh, One thing, if you're going to use some kind of natural material, like, for example, cocoa butter, ironwood, and something else, don't go for the expensive stuff like a some kind of wax to uh, finish off your handles. You're good enough with a cheap option like oiled linseed oil. I have a Amazon link in the description below, uh, and also if you ever make a blade, I would suggest cold bluing it with super blue, also in the link in the description below. Um, I don't know what you should do for cracks in your work, but if it's at uh, the tang side, just cut it off and just shorten your blade a little bit. Um, and if you want to prevent rust without the cold bluing stuff, uh, I would suggest mineral oil, or another thing that you can coat your knives with to prevent rust uh, stuff. Um, Mustard, yellow mustard. It has a nice um, uh, it has some chemicals in there to make your knives look cool, like if you put a hamon on it. Uh, and if you are going to do a traditional hamon, I would suggest uh, uh, gun gum. I will also put a link in the description for that as well. Let's see, what else? Oh, for all you men that don't have this uh, particular thing, uh, ladies, I know you guys got like nail polish or whatnot. Just forgive your partners for stealing a vial of two of nail polish. You can really make some really good designs out of that. Like for example, for what I'm gonna be doing for my blades, just a bunch of scrolls on the spine of the knives that I'm making. Um, let's see what else. Oh, um, when it comes to making hidden chain handles, and this is what I had Josh to do within one of my creations. If you split a block in half, uh, you can easily just use a router uh, through uh, to do your uh, fitting on your like handles, hidden tang or through tang handles, and just use gorilla glue to put it back together. Wait for it to cure, and then you could put it back in your tang of the knife or machete that you're making, or whatever. Uh, Another thing that,
Almost like sandwiching them back together.
huh?
Almost like sandwiching them back together after you go ahead and
And
do
router
that.
it out. Because I don't know if you know this, Josh, but I have a lot of difficulty with using my uh, what's it called? Uh, drill press within trying to make uh, tang slots. It's a
Yeah.
very big headache if you don't have a
String
broach,
cutter.
some kind of broach to get all the extra stuff out. Which
Mm.
I will have a tutorial on how to make a brooch, but if you don't have the time or tools to make one, uh, I suggest splitting that block in half and using a cheap router or any router that you have with particular bits. I'll leave Amazon links in the
Specifically,
description below. What?
specifically for Vivor.
Yes. Uh, uh,
This is not
from,
sponsored by Vivor.
uh, I mean, from from what I'm learning from Vivor, uh, if there is like flaws in their stuff that they sponsor people, uh, they just take it down and like uh, and just improve to the next design of the tool. So, uh, as annoying as that is, uh, it's worth every single. It's worth waiting to see what the next best thing of a tool that has failed in other uh, people's stuff. And well, yeah, um, I still suggest you get a Vivor thing because uh, they're high quality tools for half the cost. For example, uh, I had my eye on a 66-pound Vivor anvil. Uh, there were a lot of complaints that the anvil was a little too hard and they kept blunting their chisels for cutting stuff on that thing.
Doesn't sound like a terrible thing.
It doesn't seem like a terrible thing, but uh, it's still a hassle that you have to resharpen your chisels every time you accidentally hit the anvil for when you're doing your hot cutting stuff. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you know this, Josh, but an anvil has to be a certain amount of hardness in order to be uh,
You want it to be bouncy
yes,
with the
but
metal on metal.
but there's a fine line of how hard and bouncy you want your anvil to be. And what I mean by bouncy, uh, when you just tap the anvil on the face, it should just give you a bounce back. Uh, you know what I'm saying, right,
I do.
Josh? So when they got rid of that anvil, they added a 110-pound Vevor anvil that is similar to the 66-pound anvil, but from what I hear, it's a little bit softer, so your chisels won't get blunted up uh, as easily as the 66-pound anvil. Uh, if they ever bring back the 66-pound anvil, I would suggest you use that anvil as a turtle hammer anvil. And a turtle hammer is like it's a attachment to uh, uh, the anvil where uh, it's like a it's like a mechanical assistant. So it's a it's a good alternative if you don't have a striker to help you with your work.
Troika.
Exactly. All right, and that's all I can think of within my side of uh, tricks and tips.
Yeah.
You got anything, Josh,
You know,
within the
I would
woodworking world?
I think as far as like some of the people out there might be wanting to get into woodworking, and um, the most important tool that you can get in your wood shop is a table saw, because you can begin to do so many different things with a table saw. So if you have that, you can do pretty much anything on a basic level. So
Yeah,
it's
and Vevor has a table saw for uh, under 300.
that's
So,
pretty good.
which
Table saw is one
it's
of
not.
those things that if you're really considering getting into woodworking consistently and doing it a lot, don't cheap out on it.
Mhm.
Spend a good amount of money. Not that it wouldn't be a bad option to go for the Vevor table saw, because it may be good for some people, but you want to make sure that you have a couple things. So if you're looking for a good table saw, you want probably, as far as most people would want, a um, a uh, a portable job site table saw on wheels. That's a really great option for most people.
Mhm.
And you want to have plenty of rip capacity. So your rip capacity is how when you're cutting a board long ways, not on the width. So you're
Mhm.
cutting down the board, and a lot of times they're really long. They're called rip cuts. Um, and you want your rip capacity to be pretty wide so that you can cut things like plywood. So tips and tricks as far as that is, get a good table saw. Don't cheap out. It's totally worth it. You won't regret it, or you probably will upgrade. If you don't have the money for an expensive one, don't worry about it. Get a cheap one until you can sell a few pieces of furniture or some of your work, um, then use that money to buy a nicer table saw. Second tip for me is if you are thinking about getting into woodworking, just think of something that you want to build and just try your hand at it. Try something. And are um if you don't know how to do it, that's okay. Just give it a try because you're opening up a world of fun. You're opening up a world of cool experiences and fun things to try. So I would suggest if you just like a piece of furniture that you don't want to buy, just try building it and see what happens. Worst case scenario is you fail and then you didn't waste very much money. I would say finally
I
kind of yeah, go ahead.
if you're I don't mean to stop you on this. Uh, for a wood choice, I wouldn't go for a hardwood right away. Uh,
Yeah.
Pine is pretty good, but just remember uh, how don't use it for anything that I use my my stuff. Before you just go for any type of wooden material, uh, paracord could, as uncomfortable as it is, it's still pretty good for handles uh, when you're just starting out. Uh,
Yeah.
so
I'm thinking I'm considering a tool that would actually be really good for both metal and woodworking. And that tool I would say is a bandsaw. Because if you get a bandsaw that you can put a blade on that will cut metal, and then a bandsaw that you can put a blade on as well that cuts wood, if you're especially if you're really into swords, then um, it would be a good idea to get into one of those because you can use a bandsaw to shape a sword that you want to make out of wood or to cut different pieces of metal.
yeah, especially um, sorry, uh, I, I I gotta say, um, bandsaws do save you time, uh, but if you want to like uh, I don't know if Vivor sells cheap bandsaws. I would go for a Ryobi if I wanted a bandsaw. Uh, just buy metal blades. That's BI metal blades. They work perfectly if you're just using uh, any type of steel. If it's like a medium high carbon steel, a high carbon steel, or mild steel. If you're just into building something, I don't know.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Anyway,
Well, sweet. You know, I think that that's really what Halo 11. No, stop. My dog is barking nonstop.
I'm gonna.
Sometimes he likes to a little bit rowdy. He almost has a personality. Hey, stop it.
I'm gonna cut that off so you can take care of stuff. Just tell me when I say, just say go when you want me to uh, go back to the podcast.
That sounds good. All right, go.
All right. So I got a question for you, Josh.
Hey, what's up?
If your piece of material has a uh, bad spot on it, like a crack or something, and you still need to
Yeah.
use that piece, what is the best suggestion that you would do to fix that problem, or something like that.
I would say first of all, you need a you need a sorry, Bilo, no.
I'm cutting.
No. 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 I would say if
Oh,
you
uh, go ahead.
I would say if you are trying to save a piece of wood that has a crack or maybe a bad spot in the wood, first
Hmm.
thing you're going to need is a router. A router with a bit that cuts away the both a bit that cuts down and into the wood, but also cuts in on the outside of the blade
Hmm.
or outside of the bit. That way, what you can do is you can cut like a section out of the wood, possibly in a square,
Hmm.
um, that you can just replace that hole or that crack with a piece of wood. Sometimes you can even cut out a bow tie shape and use the router to cut out that shape in the wood, and then cut an actual piece of wood, shape that shape,
Hmm.
and just and insert that where there is the hole or the crack, and that will help kind of hold it together, keep it together. The order in which you do that is you cut the piece that you want to put in the wood. You cut the piece that you want to put in the wood, and then when you cut the piece that you want to put in the wood, then you trace it around with a pencil or with a knife on the wood that you want to put it onto. And then um, when you do that, then you'll have an accurate representation of what material you need to cut out. And when you cut the material out of the you cut the material out of the wood, then you'll have like a print almost. You'll have a print of what you need. So pretty cool.
Hmm. Okay, I think I figured out another uh, tip for people that are starting to make Damascus steel. Uh, a tip that I just learned from uh, a friend of mine. Uh, if you don't have any like baking soda to neutralize the ferric chloride or any type of acid, Windex. Windex will save your life. Uh, it it's like for around here, it's like freaking everywhere. Uh,
Yeah.
so you spray some Windex on that to neutralize the acid. Uh, you would have to put it back in the ferrochloride and uh, in and out, spray on, spray off uh, onto your workpiece. It's for me, that's the best I can give you, advice that I can give you to make sure your piece doesn't corrode. And if it does corrode, uh, steel wire brushes are a must. Uh, you don't want to use any sandpaper at all because you might accidentally wipe off the pattern that you just put on your blade, and then you would have to do that entire list of things all over again. So yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. That's cool. I like that. Well, hopefully, if you guys that are listening or watching, if you have any photos or even any stories of some of the work that you've done, send it our way. we want to see what you guys have done, some of the projects that you've done, or even you practicing some of the tips and tricks that we are kind of showing on the podcast. Send it in.
Yeah, and I'm gonna, Josh, I didn't, I forgot to tell you this. Uh, since you just said that, I have a business email. So if you want to send your pictures of projects that you want, I'll put a link in the description below. Uh, if you want to like send pictures to put on the podcast, we could give you a nice shout out, whatnot. And if you want to order anything from me specifically, uh, like if you want some kind of chef knife, uh, or camping knives, uh, that you want for a reasonable price, uh, give me an email, and we'll talk something out.
Great, I love that idea.
Josh, you have an email that you can that people can order from you, or
What do
what?
you say that again?
Do you have a email to uh, uh, what's the word?
Yeah, I do. If you want to contact me at Josh Ekberg6 at gmail.com, which is JOSHEKBERG 6 at gmail.com. You can feel free to shoot me what you're doing, or even if you have an order or anything that you want me to make. I love making presents for people, different things like that. Make a variety of different things, custom stuff. But I specialize in tables. I'm best, I would say, at tables. So I really enjoy stuff like that.
Which, I mean, I will put up a few pictures of tables that he made in the past, uh, right around here. Maybe some kind of slideshow. I don't know. Uh, uh, Dude, I would love to buy something from you because this guy right here, I've seen not that many close. I don't see any like pool marks when he's like building this stuff. So, and this guy is like
So
legit.
what marks? What kind of
Uh,
marks?
Flaws in your work.
Oh well, thank you. I'm actually texting you the photos of some of the stuff I've done already.
Oh, so
As we
that's
speak,
why my phone's going crazy.
your phone's going crazy.
All right. Anyway,
Yeah.
I think that's all the time that we have. So,
Yeah.
thank you for so much for watching. And stop exploding my phone. I'm gonna cut
What
that
are you
out.
talking about?
Uh, I'm cutting it out. 3, 2, 1.
I can't hear it, by the way.
All right. Anyway, uh, all right. 3, 2, 1. So, I guess that's it for tips and tricks. Uh, this has been Siebel Studios. Uh, and I hope to hear from you in the comments below. Uh, Again, emails in the description below, along with Amazon links to all the stuff that I told you about, except for nail polish. I don't know. Uh, you have a partner for that to uh, borrow a I'm gonna call it a glass of nail polish. Uh, or you can just go to Walgreens and just get some nail polish there, so your partner doesn't kill you for it.
Absolutely.
Anyway, thank you so much for listening. If you liked it, please give it a like. If you want to hear more about this stuff, ring that bell, the freaking notification bell. If we hit like 2 likes, I am gonna
You'll shave your head.
no. Uh,
Really?
I will eat a piece of candy. I promise you that.
Wow. That's awesome. Well, you got one like with me. I'll go on, I'll log on, I'll like this podcast.
uh, all right. Anyway, I'll uh, uh, I'll just roll out the outro and cut out most of that awkwardness. Anyway,